Welcome back for more science. I'm your host, Boston PhD. Joining me as always is Dr. Moon.
Howdy. You forgot my, Oh, wait. No, you didn't. Wait, now I'm confused. I don't know. My brain is tired. Leave me alone.
welcome to our Roguelike ranking number 40, the 40th game we have played for the show, which is just incomprehensible.
Too many of these, dude.
Yeah, we also are thankfully indulging my innate need to rank, which I super appreciate. We're gonna pass judgment here on Griftlands, our most recent game, and talk about where this sits in our list of the best roguelikes of all time. Before we get started, we have a little bit of a memo from the normal hosts that they said they forgot to talk about the next game during last episode, and they said they're going to play Into the Pit, which they tell me is available on Game Pass right now. So Into the Pit is a brand new game. Alright, we're going to start off with kind of our final and overall thoughts on the game here. We're going to ask the question we ask every month, which is, are we going to keep playing the game? I'm going to start with you, Dr. Moon. This super easy question about Griftlands.
Yeah. Probably, yes.
Largely?
With some hesitation. You know, like when I have, a week off of work or,
literally no other video games come out.
Yeah, an extended vacation time planned.
And we're millennials, so we get so much vacation time, right?
Well, yeah, of course, dude. So much vacation time. Unbelievable how much vacation time we get. It's
Bring your
so
Series
great.
X with you on the cruise ship where you cruise around the world.
With my avocado toast and all the rest of the stuff that we're having.
Totally.
Yeah. I probably will keep playing this, if I'm honest, but it's going to be one of those when the edge grabs me.
Right, when the mood strikes you.
Yes. When the iron is hot and the Griftlands are dry, that's when Moon will tend to fly. I don't know. Now I'm speaking in riddles.
Right. Only you can crack the code.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Yeah, this riddle leads you to a secret show where Moon and I are still playing The Binding of Isaac. That's not true. Please don't write in. Please don't listen.
Yeah, no. There has been 2 DLCs since we stopped. I'm just saying that I'm still
playing Binding of Isaac.
I haven't played any of them, by the way.
Oh God, what a show that would be. Because hold on, we gotta take a tangent. I was playing the brand new DLC on PS5, and I ran up against Glass Cannon, and it is a monumentally different item now that you could probably recommend picking up. And I was just thinking I cannot wait until Moon gets into playing this again so that he can experience the joy of picking up something that used to be garbage and being like, oh, how does it work now? Oh, cool, it's completely overpowered and it's not bad like it used to be. All right, Isaac is wild, man.
Yes, it is.
Anyways, Griftlands.
Is it better or worse than Griftlands is the question here.
Right. In our list of the 2 roguelikes. Yeah.
Yes. I will play it. I probably will. It will definitely stay installed on my hard drive because I don't have all the achievements in it, so of course it's going to stay there until either I wither and die or I actually get around to, putting some time into it and playing the damn thing.
Well, and it's especially not Forza Horizon 5 sized, so it's not really eating up a lot of real estate.
It's not 160 gig waiting to be deleted kind of thing. It's here's a couple of gig here and there.
It's 2 or 3 gigs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But no, I probably will. What about you, Boston? Will you go back?
I don't know. Griftlands is... I've been really thinking this whole week about how I wrap my thoughts up on Griftlands. Because, like any of Clay's games that I've played, I really like Griftlands. It has a whole ton of interconnected and complex rewarding systems, and it's one of the few roguelikes that is a genuine roguelike that manages to tell a story at the same time. And each of the three characters are fundamentally incredibly different. But there's just so much here that you could probably play just this game by itself for months. I mean, and squeeze every drop of this game out and still be very satisfied. I feel like there are very few games that we've played for the show that I come away feeling like we didn't give it a fair shake. And usually we play games for a month because most of these games, you kind of get the full picture after a month. Or you go through the majority of it, you experience most of what you're going to experience. With Griftlands, like, I've been playing this on and off this year, and I am still scratching the surface of this thing. And I don't think that's a negative.
What was it last week we were talking about, like, those stupid character unlock points, which I only figured out about when I started my run through with the second character?
Yeah, the medal. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, go away. What?
More stuff. Yeah. It is it's frustrating in kind of a positive way, because I think I really do think Griftlands is great, and I would really love to play more of it. It's just that each run is so long, and it's a roguelike, so they're all going to end poorly. Like, you're lucky in a roguelike if you win like 1 in 10 runs, especially at the beginning. But this is probably one of the hardest ones I've had to kind of get my head around on the show so far, because yes, it is good. Yes, I recommend it, and I think it's actually a really great roguelike. There's just part of what my kid is 5. And part of what I've been trying to teach her is, like, too much of a good thing. Where it's like, yeah, candy is really good. But if you have too much of it, you're going to throw up. And it's like, well, how can I have too much candy? Like, that's crazy. That's an impossible idea. And Griftlands is kind of like that. Where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of really great stuff in here. Times 2 mechanics. Times 3 characters. Times... Yep. Like a 7-day run in game. Like, there's so much in here, and it's so well done, but you're always standing at the bottom of like a huge mountain every time you're going to go back to playing it.
Yup.
I would like to keep playing it because I really do enjoy it, and there's so much I haven't seen. But I'm there with you. Like, I will probably, maybe every couple of months, I'll be like, yeah, Griftlands. All right, yeah, I could sit here and play that, and kind of, it's kind of the roguelike mortal sin, where it's like, yeah, it's a little bit like riding a bike, but it's...
At the same time, it's not.
Yeah, like, you're going to fall off after you ride a couple feet. So I'd like to say I would go back and play it. I've been playing it on and off this year because it came out this year. And I'd like to see more of it. But it certainly isn't, you know, the pick up and play sort of thing. I don't want to compare it to Isaac, because Isaac is like riding a bike after riding that bike for hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
So I'd like to go back to it, but it's not, especially at the end of the calendar year this year, it's not really that high on my list. So
yeah, I mean, it might, like, as we hit the wrap up of the year, gaming season is done, folks. Christmas is approaching. No more games can come out and exist anymore.
Nope, not until February 22nd.
Yeah. It might be something that is like worth looking into over like a Christmas break. But the problem with
Yeah.
that is you've also got 56,000 other games that came out this year that
Yep.
we didn't get into.
Yep. Yeah. It's a bummer. I really like a lot of what's going on in Griftlands. I would really like to keep playing it. I'm not sure how realistic that is. But let's figure out what all that means here in our list of the best roguelikes of all time. Before the show, we agreed to start at number 25 for Downwell. Is Griftlands better than Downwell?
I think so, yes.
There's certainly a lot more to it. These are two polar opposites, though, where it's Downwell. You know how to play that within, like, 5 seconds of picking that game up.
Yeah, this is apples to pineapples.
Yeah, exactly. Is Griftlands better than Dungreed? I think I would say yes.
Yeah, I can get behind that, I think.
Dungreed is one of those that I remember really liking, and I think the farther we get away from it, the less I remember of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough because Griftlands is a lot.
Again, it's apples and pears.
Yeah.
Going up the stairs. Cocky rhyming slang geezer.
Is Griftlands better than Ironcast?
They're about the same difficulty level.
That's fair. Yeah.
Which is to say, ridiculously hard for both.
Mm-hmm. I think Griftlands for me goes over Ironcast because I think Ironcast does what it does really well, but I don't think it's nearly as deep as Griftlands. I think Griftlands its depth is definitely
it's multiple runs, multiple characters, multiple people.
And even if you just play like that starting character, even the conversational system and the battle system being so different is I think kind of a boon.
And then on top of that, you've also got the metal system, which is upgrades and things like that you take into the next runs. It's ridiculous how deep this thing goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it above it.
Is Griftlands better than Swords of Ditto Classic?
I think so. I like Classic Ditto, especially because he just copies and turns into all of his opponents.
Yep.
I'm tired. You can tell I'm tired.
It's real good.
I think it's funny these days.
Yeah.
But I do think that Swords of Ditto was very inspired by like the classic Zeldas and things like that. Whereas honestly, tell me a game that's like Griftlands. I dare you.
Right. I feel like the closest we could get is like Signs of the Sojourner, where it's like you use cards to talk, kind of, in both, sort of. But like there's nothing else like Griftlands that's... I mean, the battle system is almost like a deck building RPG, but even that is not. You can't be like, oh, it's exactly like Voice of Cards. You know, there's nothing else that's really out there like it. Get up there. All right, is Griftlands better than Darkest Dungeon?
It's time for the old question, Boston.
Is it a roguelike?
Or is Griftlands a better roguelike than Darkest Dungeon?
I mean...
The funny thing is, this is normally an easy decision.
Right.
However...
Yeah.
It's the length of the runs that make me think of both of these situations.
Yeah, both of them have sort of the same... Because Darkest Dungeon, I feel like we can generally sort of push back on that idea of it being a roguelike. I think it technically is, but like the runs are days and days
ridiculous.
of real time, which is also the problem with Griftlands. But I think, for me, Griftlands has a leg up on it because of the run-over-run progression, where you're unlocking character-specific stuff.
Yeah,
like
the
cards
XP,
and
the additional cards into the pool,
yeah,
all that kind of
outfits
stuff,
and stuff like that. And then additionally, your those, whatever the green perk points are called, they're not metal, but they're the other one that you pick from the other menu that applies to all of the characters.
I think they're literally called perk points.
Okay, so got this game. So like I like that there's this. I think in the parlance of the times, it'd be called a meta progression. I like that you have this kind of in between overall progression that you can do. I think that is maybe where Griftlands sort of has a leg up on Darkest Dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it does go above it.
Is Griftlands better than Solitarica, the old Solitarica? Talking about apples and pineapples on this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think
Solitarica is a great game, but it's solitaire.
And there's like no overall progression. There's no like overall character account level. There's no XP or anything. You are unlocking classes and stuff like that, but I don't feel like that's as strong as Griftlands is.
Yeah.
Is Griftlands better than 20XX?
Well, they're both ridiculously hard in places.
That's fair.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I would say yes, because I think one of our biggest criticisms of 20XX, I'm very curious to see if how or if they'll resolve it in 30XX, is just that kind of, you got 10 items in the game, you have the one or two you really like that are pretty easy to get, you're going to win this run. You know, it feels... It felt a little bit one note. Is Griftlands better than The Legend of Bumbo Classic? Another game I have to get back to.
Yeah. Or another game that came out right around this time, we'll say.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but I might look into it over the Christmas break. No.
No. Oops.
I think so, yes. I think I like The Legend of Bumbo Classic. I think the version we played was broken as all kinds of hell.
And like had very inconsistent progression from sort of level to level.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I want to go back to it is see what the smoothed out experience looks like.
Yeah. I think I'm okay with it going above Bumbo, to be honest.
Is Griftlands better than Spelunky? I think this might be where it stops for me.
It's right there with you. This is exactly where it stops. Because
that's my knee-jerk.
They both have so much love poured into them.
For sure.
Oh, and if you're one of the crazy people who memorizes things that we say, there's another example of one developer doing ridiculous amounts of work in Spelunky.
Sure, yeah.
And putting out an incredible game. Spelunky's got so much depth to it, just like this does. But Spelunky doesn't feel too big. It doesn't feel too hard. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. Spelunky's got some issues when it comes to hardness, but only when it comes to people like me who are crazy, who are trying to do like the all no gold Satan hell run mouth version of the game.
Well,
whereas if you're just a regular old roguelike, then Spelunky's perfect.
Well, and it's also interesting because we just talked about 20XX having a very small item pool and feeling pretty restrictive because of that small size. But what's really interesting is Spelunky is so finely designed that that small item pool feels really interesting, largely because of its scarcity, but also because the thing that more roguelikes should do, some of the items are just super overpowered, which feels real great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really good.
But I also look above Spelunky and I see like Descenders, BPM, Nuclear Throne, not beating any of those. And I think Spelunky is a better game here. One that I have sort of not always clicked with, but I think overall it's a much more. I think it's a thing that is. It's easy to say it's better. Not. Griftlands isn't bad. We're talking here about it's in slot 18. It's in our top 20. So it's in the top half of our list. But Spelunky, man, it's a classic.
Yes, it really is. Honestly, yeah. I think it's a good place for it.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, it sits here number 18 on our list. Just sitting right below the Spelunky and Descenders. Now we have a top half of our list, which is an absolutely crazy idea. But this list is getting big. We still have a lot more roguelikes to play, including this one we're going to play for the next month, which is Into the Pit. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And we'll see you all next run. Bye.
Bye.